Hey now, sorry about that. We're at Sandy Koufax. I always get nervous with these big name, highly forged guys. So, Sandy Koufax, before we talk about the career of Sandy Koufax, let's look at Ron's book. I want to read two things to you. He is the most popular of the living Hall of Famers. That's an opinion. This was written in 2018. Mays was still alive. Aaron was still alive, but the things with them at the time was they were still doing autograph signings. Even Mays by then probably stopped. Aaron was still doing autograph signings shortly before he passed away out of Wisconsin. Koufax, he was not doing autograph signings. As a matter of fact, I brought something out for you. This program right here. Why would I bring out this national program from 1997? Reason I brought this out in 1997, if you went on Thursday, August 7th, from 1 to 4 o'clock, Sandy Koufax was signing autographs in person. This was the last public signing Sandy Koufax ever did. He never did another public signing autograph again. The reason why I think that is a couple of things. I think one of the main reasons, this is going to sound a little out there. In 2002, a very famous book came out. It was a semi-biography by Jane Levy called Sandy Koufax, A Lefty's Legacy. And he begrudgingly agreed to let her write it. And a horrible, horrible story came out that it's been proven absolutely false. I want to make this very clear. It's absolutely false that the New York Post published a false story basically saying that he only agreed to even have this book written about him and allow people to be interviewed. He never did an interview about the book, but others people did. If he didn't agree to other people, they were going to out him as gay. Now, there's no truth to that whatsoever. But really, for some reason, I feel like after that time, he was a recluse to begin with, Sandy Koufax, but he really crawled into his shell. And he has never done a public signing since 1997, but since that book came out. I think that book had a lot to do with it. Now, that's a sit-down signing. All that being said, we're going to talk about this shortly. If you see Sandy Koufax in the wild today, you'll probably get an autograph from him. He's out there. A little bit about the career of Sandy Koufax. You could make a strong argument. I know this is crazy, but you could make a strong argument that Sandy Koufax does not deserve the Hall of Fame. Sandy Koufax was very smart. He was like Jerry Seinfeld. He left when he was on top. He retired at, I think, age 31 or 32. I know for a fact he was the youngest inductee ever into the Baseball Hall of Fame at 36. I mean, that is insane, a 36-year-old into the Baseball Hall of Fame. Lifetime 165, lost 87, an outstanding 2.76 ERA. I mean, when he was playing, he was at the top of his game, but he retired after 12 seasons. He felt like his arm was going to fall off. 3-time Cy Young winner. Again, no Tommy John surgery right then. But again, if you compare his similarity scores, I'm looking at Baseball Reference right now, to the 10 most similar scores, a total of 0 of those players in the Hall of Fame. 0. We're not even talking steroids. There's no Roger Clemens comparison. Most similar pitchers. Granted, I think Chris Sale, who's number 5 in that list, and maybe Garrett Cole may get into the Hall of Fame. But I think if Garrett Cole, maybe those two may get in. But right now, currently, 0 comparables of Sandy Koufax are in the Hall of Fame. So again, this is all about like ending on top, which is what he did. He knew when to step out of the spotlight, both from a pitcher and from signing autographs. So because of that, like he did do a private signing last year. And the autographs started at $1,000 for a single signed baseball. Again, you can go on eBay, probably buy one for a fraction of that, real one, for a fraction of that, $1,000. And it only went up from there. I mean, if you wanted a first win ticket or a debut ticket or any other ticket signed, $7,500 for a ticket. You wanted an inscription, $1,250. And believe it or not, there were only 75 slots. They all sold out. So there's an argument to make for sure today that he is the most in-demand living Hall of Famer. Something else Ron says that I do agree with, and that is he is a common signature. Absolutely. He was doing signings fairly consistently through the 80s and 90s. I did meet him at the 1996 National. He was signing, I think, for at least for 2 days. He may have been there a third day. That was in LA. It was by his house. Yes, his last show was in Cleveland at the 97 National. So, I mean, we're going to take a look at autograph analysis of Sandy Koufax now, because I spent a lot of time talking about the background. I mean, I think we're going to have a huge spike with his autograph once he passes away. I believe he's now the oldest living Hall of Famer, as well as the last living member of the 55 Dodgers World Series team. I could be wrong about that, but I think I'm right about both of those. So, again, it's just increasing the legacy of Sandy Koufax. I mean, he was great. He was great. I mean, but I don't want to. He's become almost mythical. But again, he made appearances for the World Series and everything. So I want to share my screen. And usually I start with the PSA autograph facts first. Not today. Wrong share. Let's go right here. So this person if you've ever been to Dodger Stadium, it's very tough to get towards the bottom. But Sandy Koufax was down there. And as you can see, Sandy Koufax signed autographs. I think both of these are good. I think the person probably knew he was going to be there. Sandy did side panel. And again, Koufax, if you can get to him, especially in like public appearances, not sit down like autograph appearances, but like appearances at Dodger Stadium, I heard he's a pretty good signer still for 89 years old. In addition to that, there was a time about 10 years ago for like a string of 4 or 5 years, he would make appearances at spring training. And granted, the demand was insane for him. But he signed a lot. He would pick his spots, sign for a couple people, then walk. They had to barricade it off so there was security all around him. But like there are stories out there, like again, if you can get to Koufax at like a baseball appearance, he will sign. So, I mean, enough about that. Let's take a look at the autograph actually of Sandy Koufax. And I want to start with this one. And the autographs that are forged these days of Sandy Koufax are much more similar to his modern signature. And the S has changed a lot, as well as the K. I personally have never been a fan of this K. You see how this K sticks out right here, the little tip right here? If I were in the market today to buy a Sandy Koufax autograph, I don't know enough about this, but I would love to see an official document or contract where he signed this K like this. So whenever I see a K like this, I move on. I don't want to say it's 100% fake. I don't know, but I move on. And you can see PSA has 54 different exemplars of him. I don't know if all of them are good. Again, this I think is good. And this is what I'm looking for in today's signature Sandy Koufax. I'm really looking at two things, the S and the K, and the slant of those two. So when the S is he does his S, and again, there's other things we'll talk about later, but the S, I'm really trying to see it. I don't want a straight 45 degree angle line straight up. And I know it's tough to see here, but you can see it sort of curves in a little. And the S should never be in the middle of this oval. Not a circle, an oval. If I see this being a circle, I just move on. I know it's no good. And in addition, the K should be a 2-stroke K. And again, going back to this one, I don't want to see a sharp point. See that sharp point here? I'll see a lot of fakes that don't have sharp points. I want to see like a C right here. There's other things I'm looking for. The F down here should be much bigger than the F up here. The X should loop around like this right here. The X right here. I mean, the A, the U, and the A's, the O, the U, and the A should all be open. He rarely closes his A's. We just did Dick Allen, where Dick Allen had a nice closed A pretty much. You really don't see that with Sandy Koufax. Now, granted, his signature has changed a lot over the years. Again, this is a little easier to see right here. The A looks like an O, and it's kind of open. You see how that S kind of leans, and it's to the right. I mean, Koufax's autograph now, that's pretty funny. 4.91, I got better. That's actually a really funny inscription. Again, I think this is absolutely real. But again, it's funny. You can see his autograph way back when. And like this S has moved slowly as the years go on to the right, to the point where we'll get to autographs where it's absolutely outside of this little line right here. Like it's almost, you see that line right here? It's almost to the end right here. Again, the A, sees a lot of use. It's a lot of up and down twirling, a little bit of C. The O is not completely closed. You see the Koufax looks like a C right here. The open U, the A right here looks almost like a U. Again, it's open like we talked about. And the X comes up and comes straight down. I mean, again, I wonder if all these were signed at the same time to the same person, because there's all a lot of funny inscriptions on them. And again, I think they're all real. Again, this is probably all from the same signing. I'm not going to dwell too much, but again, these are the ones that are forged, are more modern day signatures. And I say modern day, 2000 later for him, it's modern day. But you're starting to get the feel that the O looks a little bit like open right here. The A is a little open right here. The D is not closed up at all. You see how it leans a little to the right here. And again, this is flat right here. It's kind of like an oval to me. It should never look like a circle. Again, I think these are all from the same signing, just for the fact that they're all inscribed like this. And I don't think he was doing these. These are all recent. Again, this was probably something a little bit different. But again, this is what I was talking about before right here. This is, see how the S now it still leans to the right. I mean, it's kind of sloped in. It's not a straight line up. Now, this S has completely gone to the right of where it goes here. So it should never be in the middle. This is not a circle. It's kind of oval with a flat over here. The A is nicely pronounced here, much nicely pronounced than the A right here. This is rarely ever looks, this A and this A, this should never look like an A at all. Again, this is actually a pretty nice signature for Koufax as well. Again, this is common what you saw when he signed at the sign. You see how it's bent? This S right here is bent around and looped around. Again, it's to the right of this. The A looks pretty nice, kind of like an O. The open D right here, he rarely closed his letters. We're not looking for closed letters at all. You see the F right here is bigger than this F right. The bottom loops the tall loop. The X comes big around, comes back down. Again, the K looks like a two-stroke with a C. I mean, again, he's tough to forge, believe it or not, even though he's highly, highly forged. And we'll look at some forgeries in a couple of minutes here. Again, these are the Koufaxes. If I'm buying a Koufax, this is what I'm looking for right here. Again, you see right here, it's completely to the right. It's bent, the S. It's kind of like bent like this. It's not as straightforward. It's an oval with a sort of flat top. The A is open right here. The N looks like a U. They're open letters, as we talked about. The O is a little nicer, but again, this A looks nothing like this A, which it shouldn't at all. Again, I don't want to say these are fake. I don't know. I just don't like this K. If I'm buying a Sandy Koufax today, I am buying it not with this type of K at all. I'm buying with a two-stroke K. With this K, it looks like a C, not like it comes down. Could he have changed it? Maybe. I don't know. There were times that we know for a fact that he was personalized. Again, right here. Again, look at that K. Again, look at this K. It looks like a C. Look at this K right here. I mean, two completely different K. Yeah, a lot of other things look similar, but just like I am just not a fan. Again, the S looks good. I see the S. I see the N, which looks like a U. And again, the A looks good. It's like an O. Again, it's close, but these are a little bit older signatures. I'm not a fan of the signature. Only because of the S. We talked about this. Usually the Koufax, and I know it's on the PSA database. I would not buy this autograph for the S alone. I don't like how the Sandy right here, you see how this looks like a circle, not really an oval, and this comes right through. I just think there are better, more that autographs of his that look more what they're supposed to look like. Again, can I say it's fake? No, this may have been signed in front of a PSA representative for all I know. Oops. Let's go back to... Sorry. Again, same thing right here. I'm not a fan of it. I guess it's not horrible, but again, this is not the Koufax. It is an open A, which I like. The N looks like a U. But again, a lot of the forgers that do this know this. They leave the open right here. The X, it kind of goes up and comes down. I want to see more of a rounded X, if that makes any sense right here. And I don't like how this is a circle and goes right through. I'm just, again, not a fan of this Koufax right here. Again, same thing right here. Not a huge fan of this S at all. Can I say it's for sure fake? No. You see how the K goes, the second stroke of the K goes through this K. I don't like that. The X looks nice. Don't get me wrong. The A looks nice. The rest of it looks nice, but I want one that's like perfect. You know what I'm saying? Upper Deck had them for a while. Again, this is a nicer one right here. You see how the S, it's like an oval right here we talked about. It comes through right here. Yeah, it comes, I could see obviously it looks like a C, but it goes through the K, but not completely through, and it has the open letters. And again, I'm sure this is real. It's personalized and everything. But again, this is what I'm looking for a Sandy Koufax autograph. Again, same thing. Hopefully you're starting to get like a feel for this, like with the S. I mean, really to me is in the S. if I'm buying a Koufax autograph or not. This is a different style Koufax altogether. This was signed in the 80s. This is like an 80s Koufax. And this S is a little bit different. It's still good. But you see how it's the circle is different right here completely. He closed it off right here. Like, let's go back to this Koufax right here. You see how this is like a nice circle right here? Look at that, how he closed it here. We closed it down, a very small circle right here. So these are good. These were signed in like the 70s and 80s signatures again. But this is the Koufax I'm looking for today. Like this S right here with this C. Again, the A is not completely closed off. It's pretty closed off. The U, the D is not very pronounced. So again, not a fan of this one at all. I don't like this S at all. I can't see the whole thing. There's a window right here blocking. Just looking at this real quickly, this is not the Sandy Koufax I would buy. I would buy this one instead, better, because again, you see how it's not a perfect circle. It's going to the left, and it's coming through right here. It's leaning to the right a little. It's not going straight up. Looks like this is like a rush signature, but again, this is good. Again, this is a nice close-up of Sandy Koufax. Again, you see the U, the D looks like an L right here. This bottom loop is taller than this. It's out. See how the X, it doesn't come straight. It comes kind of round and down. Again, most importantly is the S is curved up, and this is like an oval right here. So I just want to get to a couple other Sandy Koufax autographs. Again, most of these, to me, look the same. I understand that it may look different to you. And again, the authenticators are really good at authentic. Yeah, this is like a early playing day signature Sandy Koufax. Again, the K looks completely different. The X, don't say it's just the S is an uppercase S. You rarely see these signatures. If I saw the signature, honestly, just on a cut, even if it were real like this right in front of me, I wouldn't buy it. I just don't know enough about this version of Sandy Koufax's signature from the 50s. I'm not saying it's bad. It's good. I'm like 99%. I've seen enough of these. It's not in my wheelhouse, this version of his signature as well. So, but again, even back then, he wasn't closing the A's. The D wasn't closed, although it's much more pronounced, the D, than it is now. Again, this O is closed, but you're not going to get that. But this A here is open. So it's almost a two-stroke X. Obviously, it's not. But again, it's just weird. Again, this one as well. Again, this is probably a playing days. Again, it's still open with the D. Again, this is not the kind of people are forging right now. That K is a little bit closer than what we talked about. Again, playing days signature. A beautiful check right here. But again, this is from 84. You can see that old S. It's not round. It's coming down and closed. But again, open end, the D. It's a little nicer. I wish I had my friend on. He really knows about checks. I don't see Sandy Koufax checks very often. I'm assuming they are quite rare. So if you're in the Koufax market today, you're going to spend a couple $100 easily. So again, we talked about this. This was signed on October 7th, so a couple of months ago. And again, you can see right here how his autograph looks today, especially on this one. Again, it looks nice. For 89, it looks nice. Again, it's coming up. Again, it's not a circle. It's like an oval with a straight flat. Now it's all the way to the right. But again, this is still not 45 degrees straight up. It kind of curves. The A is closed now. But again, look at U, the D. It's a lot of up and down motions, up and down motion. Again, the F's are pretty equal, but again, this is probably signed quickly. And the X it's a gorgeous signature. I want to go to Outer Safe real quick. Outer Safe, again, they know this stuff really well. So like, again, what not to look for in a Sandy Koufax autograph. So we talked about, we don't want to see 45 degree angles with this S right here. And look at this. This is like a perfect 45 degree angle. And this is more of a circle than an oval. So again, they said this was out. I'm agreed. Excuse me. Again, this right here, you see how it's kind of leaning in. It's not a perfect circle right here. Again, the A's open. A lot of things about this. The O is open, which is I wanted to see. The Koufax is open. What did they say here? I'm curious. Out. So let's see why they said out. And again, they're usually right about a lot of this. Again, this could have fooled me. The O is a little weird for me. The A is a little weird. This is a good forgery, in my opinion. So, but again, they say it's out. I'm going to trust them. I'm not here to second guess anything they do. Really, I'm not. They do God's work, in my opinion. This one's all over the place. You can see right here. It's almost like a one-stroke K, whatever. So I'm sure it's no good. Again, see how it's coming through right here, and they try to do a circle right here. It's very difficult to replicate what they do. So Again, I don't want to go through here. They already called that one out. Again, this one, God, I hope this one's good. Nice C, nice A. It's coming a lot of ups and downs, which you want to see. This to the right, it's not a perfect circle. I would say this is good. I don't even really know the answer to this, but let's see here. They say this is safe. Yeah, I agree. It's safe also. So, I mean, maybe you're getting a feel for it. So again, let's look at eBay. Ooh, eBay. I mean, yeah, you're going into like the realm of the unknown here. I would never buy a Koufax on eBay unless it's like has like some really good authentication with them. COA Hall. This one's probably no good. Is my guess. Let's see what the COA is from. Who's got a hologram? So we know it's no good. But I don't know. That's Don Drysdale. Oh, forget that. We're not even looking. I don't know why he's popping up with Koufax. So I just wanted to go like arbitrarily pull some of these autographs right here. That like obviously based on price, we know it's no like this one right here, $35. You just know by the price it's bad. But again, the key thing right here is look at that S. You see how like it's at a 45-degree angle going up and it's going through like almost like a circle. It's just, and again, this K is going too far to be through it. Again, the A is closed. We don't want to see a closed A. We don't want to see an O like that. The X is not natural. You see how it's not a smooth flow. He stops, goes up, stops, comes down. So obviously for $35, you're not getting a signed real Sandy Koufax. I went by this, I wouldn't even get started with that. So again, I mean, obviously you're going to pay a lot of money for Sandy Koufax. So just like be careful. You want good provenance. You want good TPA. I mean, a lot of stuff will be signed through MLB. I'll be here all day going through Sandy Koufax. Again, just look at the S. We've done a lot of studies on it. Is this the same one that was outer safe? No, it's not. So again, I would not buy one without that has a TPA or not. I just want to go to the sold ones. Let's just take a look at the sold ones here. I know we're spending a lot of time on Sandy Koufax. Again, focus on the S. So this has the JSA with it. Sold for 100, which is pretty cheap for him. I mean, if this is real, it's signed very rushed. I don't like the A. The S does look good. It's kind of a botched right here. That being said, I mean, there's other things to look for. I'm not a huge fan of this. The S does look good, though. There's other ones I would buy. I mean, I would like to see the X come up much higher on this. Again, he had secretarial signatures for years. This is a JSA third-party cert. I'm not the biggest fan of JSA. I would just initially stay away from that one. $60. I mean, this is all over the place. I feel bad to ever spend $60 on this. I mean, look how big this is. I mean, we looked at the X's, the S's. I mean, obviously, if you're looking at this, you know this is no good. I'm not a fan of this S not really a fan of this S at all. I mean, again, we can spend all day on this. I don't want to beleaguer the point here with Sandy Koufax with looking at the S's. Yeah, again, these are all good. These are beautiful. $5.99. That's what you're gonna pay for a ball, but it's cheaper than $1,000. Again, these S's all look good just on a thing. J&B Collectibles. He was with J&B, I believe, B&J back in '96. This S, I'm just looking at it closely. I'm not a fan at all of this S because it looks like a circle to me, not an oval. Again, I'm not going into details. I don't know what the COA is. Just looking at this by itself, I don't like this S at all because you see how it's a circle? We talked about it should be an oval. So that alone, to me, says run. Stacks of plaques authenticates it. So that speaks for itself. If you're looking for a good deal, God, I don't know what to tell you if you're looking for a good deal on Koufax. Just be careful. Buy a top certified Koufax. He's still signing actively for tops. So, I mean, they're still out there. You could pull a Koufax in a 2024 Series 2, I think, with Shohei Ohtani. So we spent a lot of time on Koufax. I don't know if I've ever gone 25 minutes on somebody, or if I have, it's been a really long time. But listen, in my opinion, Koufax merits it. He's very, very highly forged. So with that said, oh, good. We have one more K left. Bowie Kuhn. Thanks so much for watching. Hit the like button. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. And as always, keep collecting.